Good day everyone. So today we will be discussing solving right triangles using the different trigonometric ratios. So after discussing the trigonometric ratios, what we will be doing today is we are going to apply these ratios for us to solve a right triangle. And solving a right triangle means we are going to find the length of the side or the measure of the angle. Now, the key point in today's lesson is for you to identify what trigonometric ratio you are going to use depending on the measurement and the markings of the triangle. The most commonly ratios in solving right triangle are only the sine, cosine, and tangent. So we will be using the mnemonic. We have here the SOH CAH TOA. Again, what do we mean by this? It means we have sine that is equal to opposite side over hypotenuse, cosine that is adjacent over hypotenuse, and then tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent side. So let us have an example if you can identify what ratio is to be used according to the figure. Let's have the first one. Our acute angle here is theta. If you are going to look at the mark angle and mark side, what ratio we are referring here, and we have to write the equation. This is our mark angle theta, and as you can see here, the given sides are A and B. In relation to the theta, side A obviously is our opposite side, and then the opposite the right angle is side B, which means that side B is our hypotenuse. So side A is our opposite and side B is our hypotenuse. So using the mnemonic SOH CAH TOA, we have the opposite and hypotenuse, meaning to say the ratio that we are going to use here is sine based on the mark angle and mark sides. And of course, the equation that we can form here is we have sine theta is equal to the opposite side, which is side A, over the hypotenuse, which is side B. I hope you get it. Kasi yan yung importante. You should know how to identify what is the ratio to be used. Let's have another one. The mark angle here is angle beta. Here is our angle beta. And the given sides are sides C and D. Now, looking at here, what are sides C and D? We have here opposite. The angle beta is side C. So side C is our opposite side. And then D is our adjacent side. Here is our right angle. So yung katapat niya is the hypotenuse, which means that D is our adjacent side. So based on here, we have the opposite side and the adjacent side of the mark angle beta. So we have opposite, adjacent, opposite, and adjacent. So we are referring here, or this figure illustrates tangent. Then the equation will be tangent beta is equal to the opposite side is side C, and then the adjacent side is side D. So here is the equation. And then for our last example, we have again here beta, our angle beta here. Let us look at the given sides, G and H. We have here the right angle. Opposite the right angle is side G, which means that our side G is our hypotenuse. And then, katabi ng ating beta, ang H. So, ibig sabihin, H is our adjacent. So, the sides that we have here referring to our angle beta is the adjacent side and the opposite side. Here is the adjacent side and the opposite side. Meaning to say, ang ini-illustrate ng ating third figure is cosine. And the equation is cosine beta is equal to the adjacent side is side H, and then the hypotenuse is G. I hope you get it. Now, let us have our first example. So, let us have our pen first. Okay. So, let us have our first example. So, in triangle DEF with right angle E, the small e here denotes, again, the small e here denotes a side, which is equal to 27 units. And then the capital letter D denotes for the angle, which is 58 degrees. Angle D is 58 degrees. We are going to find all the unknown parts of the right triangle. So we have here right triangle DEF. The right angle is at E. Side E is 27. And then angle D is 58. Let us find all the unknown parts. So what we are going to get here are all the parts. So we will be getting the angles first. The angles using capital letter. Again, capital letter denotes an angle. So we have capital letters, that is angle D. We have angle E, and then we will be getting also angle F. So kukunin natin ang measure niyang yan. At the same time, we are going to get also the sides. We are going to use small letter. So small letter D denotes side D. So we have side E, and then we have side F. Looking at our given, ilagay na natin, our side E is 27 units and our angle D is 58 degrees. So meaning to say, ang hahanapin natin for the angles, we have angle E, we also have angle F. At the same time, kukunin din natin ang side D at saka side F. Now, for us to identify all the unknown parts, it is necessary that we illustrate our triangle. So we have a right triangle DEF, and the right angle according here is at angle E. So our right angle here is E, and then you can put the vertices D and F kahit saan. So this is D, and then let us add F here. Okay, so opposite, we have here angle D, 58 degrees. So let us write it here. We have 58 degrees, our angle D. Given also is side E, which is 27. Opposite angle E is our side E. Ganun yun ha. Opposite angle D is side E. Opposite angle F is side F. So if this is our angle E, here is our side E. And based in here, the given or side E is equal to 27. Now let us identify the following. But actually, if you are going to look at our given here, makukuha na natin yung angle E because angle E is a right angle. So, pwede na nating ilagay that the measure of angle E is 90 degrees. And of course, if you already know the measure of angle E and angle D, knowing that the sum is 180 in a triangle, so you are just going to subtract 90 and 58 from 180, which means that our angle E measures, yes, it measures 32 degrees. Now, let us get sides D and side F. In here, we are going to get side D. So again, opposite angle D is side D. So ilagay lang natin para mas makita ninyo. So we have here side D. So what ratio we are going to use so that we can solve for side D? So you have to look carefully at our figure. Our angle is 58, that is angle D. The unknown is side D. This one, this is the opposite side of our acute angle. And then another given is side E, which is opposite the right angle. So side E is our hypotenuse. So again, pag tiningnan to, the angle is 58 and the unknown side is the opposite side, and then the given on the problem is the hypotenuse. So using our mnemonic, isulat lang natin, the mnemonic, we have the SOH, CAH, and then TOA. This is the most commonly used, the sine, cosine, and then the tangent. Again, ang ating nawawala is D, that is the opposite side. And then the given is E, which is the hypotenuse. So we have the opposite side and the hypotenuse. Meaning to say, for us to solve for D, we will be using what ratio? Yes, we are going to use sine. And the equation that we are going to use is that we have sine D. Our angle is angle D, so you can have sine D. Pwede rin naman sine theta, basta the theta is angle D, but let us use D. So we have sine D is equal to opposite ng angle D is side D, and then the hypotenuse is our side E. So basically, this is the equation that we are going to use to solve for side D. We are going to substitute the given values. So let us have here sine. Angle D is given, that is 58 degrees according here. So let us write angle D, 58. So we have sine 58 is equal to, the unknown is D, and E is also given, and that is 27. So by substituting, ito na ang ating equation. And how are we going to solve for D? Yes, you are going to use cross multiplication. So we have here D is equal to, you are going to cross multiply. Pag multiplyin lang yan. So we will be having here 27 sine 58, which means for us to get D, it will be equal to 27 sine 58. So using your calculator, you are just going to press this 27 sine 58. And if you do that, 27 sine 58, the answer will be, we will be having 22.90. So again, using our calculator, you are just going to press what is written in the equation. The D is equal to 27 sine 58. So you are going to press again 27. So we have 27. As you can see here, we have 27 there. And then you are going to press sine. There, you have sine there. Nagkaroon ng parenthesis. Then we are going to press the angle. We have here 58. And as you can see here, the answer is already here. Ano? And if we are going to round it off to the nearest hundreds, yung 89 natin will become 90. So the answer is 22.90. So let us write here, the value of D is 22.90. So we have here 22.90, or as simple as 22.9. So let us get the last unknown side, which is side F. Now what we are expecting for the measure of side F? Will it be greater than these two or less than the two sides here? Of course, angle F is the smallest angle. So we are expecting that side F will be the shortest side because opposite the largest angle is the longest side, and then opposite the smallest angle should be the shortest side. So let us just erase this one, and then let us put side F. It is opposite the angle F. So we have F here. So looking at our figure again, here is our angle. Our angle is here. The unknown now is F, and then another given again is 27. Alam naman natin that E is our hypotenuse, which tell us that side F is actually the adjacent side of the acute angle 58. So what ratio we are going to use now? Since we have here the adjacent side F and then the hypotenuse E, so we are going to use adjacent and hypotenuse. So the ratio that we are going to use is, yes, we will be using cosine this time around. And the equation will be cosine D, our angle is angle D, is equal to adjacent side. And the adjacent side is F. So let's have F here over the hypotenuse again is 27. Let us substitute the measure of our acute angle, which is 58 again. So we have cosine 58 is equal to F over 27. And then to solve for F again, you are going to do cross multiplication. So we will be having F. And then if you multiply this to, what will be the answer? Anong isusulat natin? Yes, we will be having 27 cosine 58. Then ito ang inyong ipipress sa calculator. If you do that, 27 cosine 58 will be equal to, rounding off to the nearest hundreds, it will be, yes, it will be 14.31. So this time around, let us find the measure of side F. And again, to get side F, that is 27 cosine 58. The ratio is cosine, so we will be pressing 27. So again, there is your 27. And then we will be pressing cosine. There you have your cosine. And then the measure of our acute angle is 58. And the answer is already here. So 14.307, rounding off to the nearest hundreds, it will give us 14.31. Again, using our scientific calculator, side F is equal to 14.31. So let us write it here. We have 14.31. And again, as you have noticed, since angle F is the smallest angle, therefore side F will be the shortest side. I hope you get it. But let us have another example. Suppose I have this figure. We have x here. X is a side. So we are looking for the side of the right triangle here. So again, titingnan nyo lang ang ating figure. So what can you see in the figure is that we have the acute angle measures 32 degrees. And then we have another side that is 8 units. And if you are going to notice, the right angle is here. And the opposite of this right angle is this side whose measure is 8. Meaning to say, the side whose measure is 8 is our hypotenuse. And in relation to our acute angle 32, side x is what side? Is it the opposite or is it the adjacent side? Yes, side x is our adjacent side. And then again, this is our hypotenuse. So based on here, this is our theta or our angle. What ratio ang ini-imply ng ating figure here? Adjacent. So we have, isulat lang natin again, we have SOH TOA. Based on the figure, we have the adjacent and the hypotenuse, which means that the ratio that we can use here is the cosine. So, ang gagamitin natin na ratio is that cosine theta is equal to adjacent side over the hypotenuse. We always start with the equation. And then we are going to substitute. We have here cosine. Our theta is 32 degrees. So we have cosine 32 is equal to, the adjacent side is the unknown represented by x. And our hypotenuse, the measure is 8. So basically, as we substitute, we will be having cosine 32 is equal to x over 8. Then again, to solve, you are going to use cross multiplication. So we have x is equal to, we have 8, we have cosine, and then 32. And then using again your calculator, katulad ng ipinakita, how do you use your calculator? You just press everything here, 8 cosine 32. And what will be the result if you do that? 8 cosine 32. Yes, if you round it off to the nearest hundreds, then the value of x will be equal to 6.78. So side x is 6.78 units. Let us have our example for today. Okay, we have this figure. We have triangle ABC. The right angle is at A. And then the unknown is this one, the angle, the unknown is angle B. We have x degrees, that is the angle B. Now, let us identify what ratio you are going to use. Looking again sa given, we are going to base that. The given are the sides 24 and 25. Now, opposite, the unknown angle is 24. So, this is our opposite side. And then opposite the angle A, the right angle A is 25, which means that this is our hypotenuse. Which means also na ang gagamitin natin, opposite and hypotenuse. We have opposite and hypotenuse. So the ratio that we are going to use here actually is sine. So we will be having the equation sine theta is equal to the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So we have sine B. Our angle is B. You can have B or you can have X. Basta that is the unknown. B is equal to, the opposite side is 24 and then the hypotenuse is 25. This is somehow different from the previous examples. Because in here, the unknown is the angle. So, ang hinahanap natin is angle B. So, ang hinahanap lang natin is angle B. So, ibig sabihin, kailangang mawala yung sign dito. If we are going to put it on the other side of the equation, sign here will become now sine inverse. Again, that is read as sine inverse. Others call it arc sine actually. No? So we have sine inverse and then yung ating expression dito, we have 24 over 25. Ngayon, ang tanong, how are we going to solve for B using our calculators? Okay, so kung ang nawawala is angle again, you are going to get the sine inverse or the arc sine. If you are going to notice sa calculator natin, yung sine inverse ay eto, here. nasa itaas ng sine, which means that we are going to use the second function. Hindi natin muna pipindutin yung sine. We are going to press either yung shift or yung second function para lumabas yung sine inverse. So let us press shift. There, ayan, pinindot ko na yung shift, nagka-S na tayo dito sa taas. So we have shift, then we are going to press sine. And if you're going to notice, ang lumabas na sa calculator natin is sine inverse. And then we have sine inverse, 24 over 25. So let's have a fraction. We have 24, and then we have here 25. And if you are going to notice, eto na ang ating sagot. We have 73, and then we have 73.39. And if we are going to round off to the nearest hundredths, therefore, our angle X or our angle B is 73.74 degrees. If we are going to express it in DMS, what do we mean by DMS? It means degrees, minutes, and seconds. Then it can be written as 73 degrees, 42 minutes, and 23.26 seconds. So again, it's either you express your answer in decimal or in DMS, degrees, minutes, and seconds. Yes, as you can see, ang lumabas sa calculator natin is 73.74 to the nearest hundredths. So, angle B is 73.74 degrees. That is expressing the angle in decimal. I hope you get it. Paano kukunin if the unknown is angle? Tatandaan lang, this is sine inverse or arc sine. Kailangan nating pinutin yung shift o kaya yung second function for us to get the measure of the angle. So again, the key point for today's lesson is for you to identify which among the ratios you are going to use. Is it sine, is it cosine, or is it tangent? So this is how do we solve right triangles using trigonometric ratios. I hope everything is clear. I hope you get it again. Thank you for watching.